Stephen, I've just realised I've had the movie news starting screen up the whole time.
That's
and it's a review, Stephen. That's a sign of how bad this is going to be tonight. I've just done my weight training. Under the way, Stephen. Remember, this is a quick one. You're going to be on the screen very quick here. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hello, welcome to another television review here at MBE. Tonight, we are going
good morning,
to be
good evening, and good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Episode 2 of Loki, John. Now, this episode is called The Variant, and this was directed by Kate Herron once more. And we've got a new character who is coming in, who we will
Lady
talk
Loki.
about. Yeah,
hey, you didn't know she existed.
Billed as the Variant, but we didn't know that at the time, John. 53 minutes running time.
Yes.
9.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which suggests
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Now we will get into that in a little moment, John. But not breaking news from ourselves, but in relation to this, Disney have announced that they are going to be scheduling all future Disney Plus original content television series to a Wednesday from the Friday because of the viewing figures of episode 1 of Loki. Now, John.
No, I'm not for that.
John, I know you're not for it, but it benefits us.
It does.
It frees up our Friday nights to do
it means we do 2 reviews a week now.
But I did enjoy watching WandaVision on a Friday night. Yeah. I did enjoy watching, obviously, Falcon and Winter Soldier on a Friday night as well. But as I said, it does suit us. It means our Wednesday nights are going to be filled with television content, and our Friday nights are going to be filled with film content. So,
unless
horses for courses,
discouraging around for movie news, which may or may not be there on a Wednesday night, because Stephen, it's becoming harder and harder.
That is, John.
Strangely, coming out of this pandemic to find movie news, it was actually fucking easier when the pandemic was raging and everywhere was shut down to speak about things.
True. Yeah.
Now we're looking at concept art. I did that last night. Luke Evans, concept art to play a character who's not going to be in Wakanda Forever. Black Panther. That's the depth you have to plumb at times to actually get movie news. But look, Steve, we're not speaking about movie news. We're speaking about Loki episode 2. Yeah. The Variant, as you did say, that's what it's called. Stephen, the first episode I enjoyed. It was quieter. There wasn't really a huge amount of action. It was more dialogue heavy. Put me in mind of Sophie Shaw, the actual German movie I watched, very dialogue heavy about that resistance fighter. I think I mentioned that last week. I like my dialogue heavy sort of content. That's why I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. He loves very talkative movies, lots of dialogue between the actors. That's certainly what we got between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston last week. Stephen, I did anticipate it would heat up a bit, and there was more action in this episode, but still very, very dialogue heavy. Now, you says it got about a 9.3. 9.3, so it's a very good episode. That's a testament to how good it is. But I can imagine there will be people out there who will hate this. The non-fans of dialogue heavy content, they will hate this because there's too much talking and not enough backstabbing. Stephen, what was your thoughts, man, in the intro? I thought the intro was very, very good. It's a sort of variant taking down, hopping back into another time period, taking down 4 TVA officers, I'm going to call them, to the soundtrack of I Need a Hero.
John, the way that was set up,
I don't know the words.
That wide shot where you're getting the sort of view of the village, I knew right away it was
Oshkosh.
I knew it was present time. It was a misdirection, making it look like it was medieval, but it looked too clean, crisp. All their attire was so neat and perfect. It was obviously.
Did you like that little 1985 flashing up at the last minute to tell you it was a sort of make believe?
But it didn't
recreation.
Throw me off or anything. I sensed it wasn't from the past, a long time ago.
Stephen, Renaissance period as well, and as we do know, I think the great William Shakespeare rose to fame and sort of gave us all his version of the English language during the Renaissance period. And as you do know, Thor and Loki, very Shakespearean kind of characters. Well, initially Thor was, now he's going off and being Waititi-ized. And did you actually watch the show last night and see me having a stroke? Try to say Waititi. Taika. I couldn't say Taika last night, I was calling him Taiki. I've done it 3 times. After correcting myself, I said Taiki again. It was like the Poe and Finn thing again. Finn and Poe and... What was that called them? Pin and Foe? And I just couldn't get it right after that. I went down a fucking absolute rabbit hole last night. But Thor has been Waititi-ized. He's became a Waititi comedic character. He's been freed up, Hemsworth. Tom Hiddleston was very Shakespearean, man, and I just thought that was fitting. Getting back to the Renaissance period with this variant of Loki.
Yeah.
Getting off in that rabbit hole, Stephen, that aside, I thought it was really good. The little mind tricks, controlling that officer to get them to take down two, and then she stabs one and then takes the other one hostage. I thought it was really, really slick and bumped up the action in the very start of this episode. And then we set up the multiple Loki variants pretty early on. I think it's Mobius speaking with his ex-love interest, I want to say, boss. Stephen, there's something not right about that boss. That female TVA
Apart
boss.
From her acting. Yeah.
Her acting's not great, but there's something not ringing true with that character, Stephen. She grabs that star thing at the end when shit starts to hit the fan. There's multiple timelines being established from the sacred timeline. She ain't working for the TVA, man. I'm absolutely convinced. I says from the get-go that something was wrong in WandaVision. I can't recall what it was, but I called it right. I'm telling you, man, she's working for Lady Loki or someone else.
Yeah,
she ain't working for the Timekeepers. She is fucking wrong. There's something wrong with her.
I think before we go on, we'll just catch up some of the chat that Sandro's put in the chat anyway.
Sandro's probably away now.
He probably is, but listen, he does say he did see episode 2 of Loki, and it looks like a lot of the TV series of DC's Legends of Tomorrow and Doctor Who, and I do like Loki series. I'm not Doomcock, lol.
Yeah. Doomcock's a
the actress Sophie Di Martino, who played the variant, known as Lady Loki, will Loki fall in love with her?
It's possible, but it's actually himself. It's like an alternate version of himself. So is that? I don't know what that is. Is that allowed? I don't know. It's himself. It's a female version of himself. They've kind of let it out the hat, Stephen, that this is a gender fluid character. I've seen an article saying, is Loki now gender fluid? Well, I don't know.
He also says Kang the Conqueror face carved into wooden walls in episode 1 of Loki. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
We see Kang and Loki, and I really don't like the idea that Kang appears in Ant-Man 3.
Oh, I do. I do like that. I have to disagree with Sandro there. I love the fact that Ant-Man is finally getting a big-time villain, because he's been a joke, a laughing stock of the MCU today. Lowest box office numbers. Been a laughing stock. He's been gave shite a little villains. The fact he's getting one of the big villains, Kang the Conqueror.
Both films are great as well, John.
They were, Stephen, they were brilliant. And look, I enjoyed the villains in them. The first one with Yellow Jacket, was it? Your man from House of Cards.
Yeah.
Always plays a good villain. And then in the second one we had Ghost. We had Walton Goggins playing the little annoying guy. And then we had Jimmy, who is it? The FBI.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the little villains, but it was small time. And all of the other movies get better villains. That was birds.
That sounded like Tomorrow Never Knows.
Freaked the fuck out of me there, Stephen. I heard the gulls outside.
Turn off your mind,
relax and float downstream.
That was weird.
Stephen, that fucking terrified me, man. Honestly, that was like the demon. The Grim Reaper coming for me there. I've been talking about potential heart inflammation and not feeling amazing since the vaccine. My weight training's went off a cliff, then I hear that.
Yeah.
Where was I? Ant-Man and Kang the Conqueror. I like the fact that he's getting a big time villain. I love it. He's finally getting some recognition. The stakes are getting bumped up big time, because that's a villain, Stephen. I don't think Ant-Man, the Wasp, the previous Ant-Man, Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, I don't think all four of them can take that character on.
Elizabeth Olsen said there will be no season 2 of WandaVision. Do you believe her? No.
Yes.
I don't believe her.
Do you think we will get a second one?
I don't think it's up to her.
yeah, exactly. It's not
John,
really under her
I don't
control.
believe anything these actors said now after Paul Bettany came out with his pish. They're all wind and pish.
I've wanted to work with this guy for years. What, yourself, Paul?
Yeah, big head. Tyrese Gibson confirms Morbius in the MCU.
I spoke about that last night.
Tyrese Gibson is in trouble saying that.
No, I don't think so. I think it's pretty obvious now that we are going to have a crossover. I'm absolutely convinced it was swept under the carpet, Stephen, that Tom Holland's deal had been renewed. There was a lot of bluster. Is he going to leave the MCU to get a short extension? It's been extended again, his deal. Multi-picture deal. I think they have wrote into it that they're going to utilise Morbius and maybe cross over at different points in when it's required. And Morbius, we ain't get a vampire in the MCU today, and Blade has to fight vampires. That's his whole reason. So Morbius coming in, it'd be great. Jared Leto, Mahershala Ali, 2 Oscar winners.
The final question from Sandro is, do you think the Timekeepers are going to be evil?
No. Stephen, I think Kang the Conqueror is going to be a link to this. I think there's going to be the carving in the wood. there was rumours, could he be a time... what are they called again?
Timekeeper.
Yeah. He's also famously a time traveller. He goes back and manipulates time and changes the events and big battles and tries to take the sort of limelight himself. So to do that, he has to be in with the timekeepers. So I think this guy, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
buying time and stealing songs. I wrote that one.
I think he could. I think he could pop up in this. If maybe not actually physically in it, but alluded to that he's going to appear, because we know he's going to appear.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll be evil though.
No,
I think that character who is Mobius's boss, I think she's going to be evil. And she's going to piss off the timekeepers.
Yeah.
But Stephen, getting away from that, did you actually see the Loki variants? All of the ones that they'd captured previously, and they went through all of the images of Loki, different versions.
Yeah.
There was a sort of demon version. Stephen, there was a fucking Tour de France version of Loki. He won the Tour de France. He had the yellow jacket.
Yeah.
There was a winner of the... Loki has won the Tour de France in a previous timeline. I thought that was a great little thing. A little look at all the different versions, in a sense showing you that this isn't the first time he's stepped out of his timeline. He is the god of mischief, and he's been mischievous before. Stephen, the continuing relationship between, I don't know what the black TVA woman, I don't know what her name is, I think it may be something 18, because I read an article. The continuing relationship between them,
Hunter
Stephen,
B15,
Hunter B15. You know what it puts me in mind of, Stephen? Have you seen Alan Partridge this time?
I've not.
There's a sort of thing between Alan and a reporter. It's not established that there's been something happened before, but they always speak to each other through interviews, and she's always getting at him, having little digs, and he hates her, and they secretly try to sabotage each other. That's what this is like, man. This relationship between these two. You know, she hates him. She gets variant put on the back, the variant instead of TVA. There's little digs back and forth between them. They clearly don't like each other, and they expand upon that in this episode again with that jacket. And I think Loki, I don't think I wrote it down. Very subtle, brilliant. I don't want anyone forgetting what you are. What? Your only hope of killing a murderer. I just love the dialogue in this, man. There's so many great quotes. I've got a list of quotes here.
Yeah, John, one of the things I've picked up in this episode as well, I get the first episode, you described it well, John. It was setting things up, introducing characters, apart from Loki that we already know. The rest of them we didn't. This episode, they seem to be going down this road, and I hope they're not going down this road too much of humanising Loki.
Yeah.
It's something we've not seen before, so it was very interesting. I felt this was very detective heavy. This episode, it was like an episode of the X-Files. And you talked about Jimmy Woo and I can't remember the character's name.
Ghost and Walton Goggins. I don't recall. Walton Goggins.
Jimmy Woo and
is it Randall Park?
No, the girl from Thor, the scientist that appeared in WandaVision with the glasses.
Darcy, something.
You actually suggested, would it not be a good idea for them to do an X-Files spin-off?
Yeah, man, it'd be a great sort of X-Files thing.
That was the kind of vibe I got from this. I was like, I like the two of them are working together. I like what they're doing with Loki's character, but I don't really want to see him change too much. I don't want to see...
No, Stephen, I was getting concerned at one point when he was sitting at the desk with the jacket on. I'm like, fuck me, he's turned into a TVA worker here. This is terrible. So I was thoroughly pleased at the end when he kind of steps through the thing, because he's resorting back to type. We know that Loki, I was going to say call him Toki there, we know that Loki is not for trusting. And Stephen, you see that when they actually go back and they try to track down the variant and they miss him as he farted, the dog. Oh god, he's farted. It'll come to me in a moment. When they go back to the sort of when they go back to the Renaissance sort of play thing, what do you call that? They do the Civil War thing when they dress up and kid on. It's that timeline.
Yeah, it's like cosplay.
Cosplay. Yeah, they go back there to try and get the variant. And Loki tries to con Mobius by saying, "Oh, he's just out there. I can sense him, but I have to get guarantees." I think he mentioned something about a wolf. He's wolf smart. He's ice. I can't recall. He says something ear smart or something like that. I don't know. But he actually does. He Mobius references at some point. I can't recall. My ears are sharp too. That's what he says. There's great dialogue between Mobius and Loki in this once again, man. And you see it. I need assurances. What did you make about that, Steve, when he goes back and you see little hints? Because were you concerned at the start as well when he's sitting at the desk with the jacket on that he's going to be this bland beige TVA thing?
That were concerning me. It was when he fell asleep at the desk and Mobius woke him up, and he was kind of, for a split second or two, he looked a bit out of sorts, like you are when you wake up. But I'm like, this is Loki, you know, he's sharp as a tack normally, and we're getting to see these little normalisation things of him that I'm not really liking. I don't want to see him change too much. I get it's got to fit the storyline, it's got to fit. The other thing as well, John, I really want to know is, where are they going? Where are they going with this character? He cannot return to his original timeline now.
Well, Steve, there's lots of talks about toppling the timekeepers, getting a face-to-face with the timekeepers. I think they'll find a way to get him back into the MCU at the end of this. I think he'll either liaise with the timekeepers or topple the timekeepers and get back in.
Yeah.
We know that this lady Loki, she's been building to something. She's got all of these sort of time manipulating things where you can open up portals to different timelines, and we know she utilises that at the end, and all hell's breaking loose. They'll find a way to manipulate him in. Is it 6 episodes, Stephen?
Yeah.
So we've still got 4 episodes to go. There's going to be a lot of weaving back and forth.
Yeah.
We know he runs an election at some point because he's got the sort of badge on, Loki.
Yeah.
So we know that there's going to be weaving in this, and he's going to go off and he'll ultimately come back to Mobius again, I'm sure of it. But I just love the fact there was that little bit of rebellion in him. He's trying to con them when he's in this place where they're all cosplaying.
Yeah.
You think he's acquiescing with the TVA, then he gets that, you get that little sign of mischief in there again. So I was relieved at that point. Stephen Sandals commented a couple of times again on Entertainment Weekly, these Star Wars movies and TV shows heading to theatres and Disney Plus. Oh, not together, surely. I hope they're not releasing Star Wars movies direct to Disney Plus and in theatres. That's like HBO Max, Warner Brothers. That'd be a disaster.
One's going forward.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to see Star Wars movies, on Disney Plus. Yeah, smaller scale ones. That'd be fine.
The current ones aren't they?
Yeah,
they're all there. Yeah.
No, but I mean tailor-made for the streaming service, not just for. I don't know about that. It'd have to be smaller scale stories. They're not guaranteed to get a box office success.
I'll not watch,
yeah. Star Wars TV shows in theatres. Wow, I never saw a TV series in theatres. Well, look, I could happily sit and watch the Mandalorian omnibus in the theatres. The scale, that's what I love about those shows. The budget, the actual feel of it.
Yeah.
WandaVision, it doesn't feel like a TV show, Stephen. It's something you could put on a theatre screen and it'll look bang on.
We're talking about Loki here, but you're right. The budget for these television series, and you see it in this, I think that whole time variant surroundings is an enormous place.
Yeah.
And it just looks great. It looks like a film production.
Yeah, Steve, man, they're spending $10 million an episode in these series, man. It's $100 million budgets, $80 million budgets, $60 million budgets. That is something it's directly connected to the movie experience. It's the exact same sets, the same talent,
you understand
the same
why
cast.
Disney wanted to purchase Star Wars, because all that return is opened up. All these
they must have had eyes on a streaming service at some point when they were purchasing the Star Wars brand, Lucasfilm, and they realised that they were going to create hundreds of spin-offs, do TV shows. They must have had that. I mean, these guys are planning a decade in advance.
George Lucas had that idea
with
back
the
in
Underground,
2004. Yeah, television series, a live-action television series.
Did 100 scripts, Stephen. Completed 100 scripts.
But you need a company like
Disney to make it happen. Stephen, getting back to Loki. Where the hell are we here, man? Mobius reveals what his true intent is, because there's points where you're thinking, is this guy is he bought into Loki? Is he becoming suckered by this guy? But you see when he's speaking to his boss that ultimately he does have a plan, and it's to bring down this Lady Loki variant, and he's just using he's seen multiple versions of Loki, multiple variants. He's just trying to pick his brain to get, in a sense, inside the head of this rogue variant so he can take them down. That's the only reason he's sustaining a relationship.
It's funny because they have a good relationship in this episode. They did in the first one as well, but in this episode I felt their relationship was on a great sort of level, a great place as well. But you nailed it. Both of them are using each other for their own purposes. And I think that we found out at the very last moment of this episode anyway.
Stephen, do you think that they'll ultimately be on the same side at the end of this TV show? Because I think the only way that can work is if there is a rogue figure in the TVA and the whole house of cards starts crumbling, because they're built as an organisation that are all working cohesively for the same plan to keep the timeline in check. If it turns out that his boss is a villain and she is working for another force and she's not working for the same vision as him, I think that could bring his whole world down, Mobius, and ultimately he could start working with Loki and somehow that brings him back to the main timeline. I think that's what's going to happen.
It could, yeah.
I really do.
There's that possibility, John. It's very interesting, all this, various timelines, and it's not just exclusive for the Loki television series. We've seen hints of it in WandaVision. We're going to see massive, moments in Spider-Man 3. We're going to see moments in Doctor Strange 2 as well. How far are they going to go? That concerns me a little. How far are they going to delve into this multiverse? Of timelines and variations. And
will it end with Multiverse of Madness?
Where do they go? They certainly can't reset things.
No.
In a way that goes back to the sort of simpler times of Iron Man.
No, there's no way we're going back to that.
There's no way going back. Just how far are they going to go?
Well, Stephen, it says the whole Phase 4-5 would be more cosmic, Eternals. What do you call them, man? Deviants, and is it Galactus? These sort of Titans, is it? I don't know if they're Titans. The actual head was the spaceport where the Collector was, Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That was the head of one of these huge things. So that's where we're going now. We're going away from street level into this huge cosmic scale. And another aspect of that is the time travel multiverse, man. It's ridiculous, Stephen. You think of the growth of the MCU. Yeah. We go from this guy in a cave, captured by terrorists, building a suit to save himself. That's what we've went from, for that to this.
Yeah.
You're on another fucking universe in a sense.
This whole journey's been fantastic, John, over the last 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2008, wasn't it? Iron Man came out. And you're right, just how far can they go? How far are they going to go with the MCU before they... Do you think they'll ever stop and reset? Do you think that will ever happen?
Steve, I don't know. It's certainly possible
because surely they want to bring characters back like Iron Man.
Steve, I thought about that.
They're there. And I don't know.
It all has a shelf life.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth can't go on forever. He's in his late 30s now. Tom Hiddleston's in his late 30s now. All of these characters are getting older, man, and ultimately there will come a point where they'll have to reset. Because Stephen, you need to have X-Men versus Avengers. You can't do that now because Captain America's gone, Iron Man's gone, Black Widow's gone, in the Natasha Romanoff vein. To get that great storyline, having Captain America facing off against Wolverine and stuff like that, if indeed they want to do that, you need to recast both sides.
Yeah.
Sandro says, I've got a god as a friend because you have Mjolnir's. You have Force Hammer Mjolnir behind you. Well, I'd prefer to have the vibranium shield, but it's plastic, sadly, hard plastic, it's not vibranium. But yeah, Stephen, maybe you're a god, I don't know. Are you a god? Are you keeping that from me?
I don't think you're supposed to reveal that, are you?
Are you worthy? Can you wield it? Stephen, man, did you agree with me? Because one thing I thought in this episode, the sort of theme of this episode was, in a sense, slapping Loki down back into his place. Because at the start of this, he thinks he's a god, that he can manipulate these people. He gets a punch to the face, it's slow-mo. Then he gets brought back down to earth. Then he's kind of manipulating, getting back to his same confidence. In this episode, it's almost like he gets slapped down once again. He's not the be-all and end-all. He thinks he's a superior variant. He finds out that this Lady Loki is multiple steps ahead of him, already way ahead in her plan, and she's manipulating things around him, slapping them about with other people. She's controlling other people. And then he kind of gets... There's a point where he thinks he's so intelligent, he's ahead of the curve, that he's manipulating Mobius, but Mobius is actually flat out telling him... It was like Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. He's flat out telling him, there's two options here, you can decide which one. I'm either upset and sympathetic of you, you're a little ice runt. I think he calls him a nice runt, I can't recall the actual word. Or I'm flat out telling you what I want you to hear. I can't recall. There was an actual literally stab people. I can't recall what the line was, but he actually tells him that he's using him for his own means. He gives him two options, so they're slapping them down. They're almost abusing Loki in this, man, treating him like a goon.
That's what they do, John. That's what the character's for.
Did you think there was a sort of bringing back down to earth for Loki in this episode? Because that's what I got from it, man. He gets slapped about at the end.
Yeah, well, we talked about...
He's not the superior variant.
Yeah, the normalisation of the character, John, and he's so ordinary in this episode. I mean, he still has a bit of...
I like the moment he dries himself, though.
Yeah, that was great, John. That was a blink and you'll miss it moment. But it shows that he still has his powers there.
Yeah.
Why
is he not using them?
Yeah, it's a strange one. It almost got those daggers back, didn't it? And then she took them back off him.
Yes. Stephen, did you like the quote? where he says, I'd never stab anyone in the back. That's such a boring form of betrayal. And Mobius says to him, Loki, I've studied your entire life.
Yeah.
You literally stab people in the back like 50 times. Well, I'd never do it again because it's got old. I love it, man. I love the dialogue between these. This is the element of this TV show that I've really enjoyed so far. The long conversations between Mobius and Loki. You can see the intellect. I've says he gets treated like a fool at points in this.
He does, yeah.
But there is a line where he says, there's one thing, there's something children don't know. Because I think Mobius says to him, you're like a child. And he says, there's something children don't know. Where's the quote, man? No one is ever truly, who has been bad is ever truly bad. No one is good is ever truly good. So you see little bits of intelligence coming through from the character. And Stephen, man, Tom Hiddleston in this, man, he's such a great orator. He can speak. He's so eloquent. The words he uses, just seeing him bouncing off. I've really, really enjoyed Owen Wilson in this, man, as well.
Yeah.
These two bouncing off each other. They're the perfect sort of duo to do it.
I'd like to see more of them, and I have said to you as well, in terms of the Owen Wilson character, I do want to see him appear in an MCU film at some point. I think he's an interesting enough character. I think we will see him. I think it might be Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. He might make a cameo in at some point. Maybe an end. It's
a TVA, Stephen. They control the timelines.
Yeah, exactly, John.
It makes sense.
Tom Hiddleston for me is on another level when it comes to acting.
Yeah.
And this character, he was born to play. And I think this television series is really going to make us understand the character a lot more than the films have.
Yeah.
I think he's been very, I don't want to say
2D.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a disservice. That's nothing to do with Tom Hiddleston's performance. He's always been excellent as Loki, but the actual character is, as you said, John, very two-dimensional. The bad guy, and who you should never trust. And he flips and flops.
That's just the reality of these big ensemble movies, Steve.
Yeah,
you just cannot fit time in for Loki. When you've got Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, he's a side character. It's like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's why these TV shows are so good. Because it's given time for these minor characters. Relatively, I don't want to call Loki a minor character, but in the grand scheme of things, he's not Thor, he's not Iron Man, he's not Captain America. This TV show is giving him a chance. You see a different side to him. In a sense, when he's saying lines like that, no one's ever truly bad, no one's ever truly good.
Another thing as well about these television series, you don't think of them as being second-rate or second-class actors in a second-class production. Like, you'd never get Chris Hemsworth in a Loki series. Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
you would. If the story fitted, the purpose of bringing that actor in to play Thor in the Loki television series, I could believe they would do that. And I don't see the likes of Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Tom Hiddleston, the list goes on, John. Everyone that's appeared in these television series is sort of a cut below the likes of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Certainly not. I think they're on an even keel, John, and that's where we are with television these days.
You get Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan doing it, and they're great actors, man. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. You've got Elizabeth Olsen, you've got Paul Bettany, fantastic actors. This is just again a sign of where TV is now. It's in a complete golden era, a continuing golden era. It's just dynamite content coming out.
But I got that second class vibe from the Marvel, Netflix Marvel stuff.
Netflix,
it was
apart from Bernthald's Punisher.
Nothing to do with performances of the television shows, John. They were great.
It felt lower,
but
didn't it?
I knew Feige treated them second class. Yeah. They weren't the proper MCU. I know the event or whatever they called it. Fucking bish. But the actual Daredevil, excellent. Jessica Jones first series, excellent.
Yeah.
Luke Cage. Luke Cage first series, excellent. Until they killed off Mahershala Ali's character after 4 episodes. What are you doing?
I know, man. Mahershala Ali.
Cottonmouth.
It was a great fucking death though, wasn't it, Stephen?
Yeah.
Oh, it was brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. He gets tossed off of the balcony, doesn't he, in his own nightclub. It was a good death, but you're killing off fucking absolute generational talent there, man. What are you doing? You can fucking Mahershala Ali. It must have been. You
know what I'm saying though about that sort of second class vibe you got to that. And I'm not down in the actual production of those TV series. They were very good.
Stephen, we've got more comments from Sandro. Do you think Miles Morales will appear in Spider-Man No Way Home? No, I don't. No,
I would like to.
I'd love to see Miles Morales, but I think
so.
I think it'll be more Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire who will appear. I don't think you can fit 4 Spider-Man characters into the one movie. Yeah. Spider-Man. There was, Stephen, did you see what I spoke about last night? There was a little clue from Sony.
The headline.
The little glitch effect on the No Way Home, which was from Spider-Man
that's
into
probably
Spider-Verse.
where Sandro's coming from with that question.
They're hinting that there's a connection between the two. So look, you might see connections between both universes. I don't think Morales will come into the MCU at this juncture. I think it'll be more likely that he'll have his own universe to play in the Sony side of things, and they'll keep Peter Parker in the MCU, and he may come in and out at some point, but not in No Way Home, man. No chance.
Or what about this? For a turn of events, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's versions of Spider-Man enter the Spider-Verse and become animated versions of themselves.
Wouldn't that be good,
Steve? You get
Steve?
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to voice
Tom Holland goes in.
the animated versions of themselves.
What if Tom Holland goes into Spider-Verse too?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
An animated film.
Animated movie,
with
man.
Those three, yeah.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Them alongside Miles Morales. Fantastic. That's the only way you can really up the stakes from that first movie. How the fuck do you up the stakes? By bringing in those characters. He says the music in Loki series has the vibe of Stanley Kubrick movies.
It's the Fairman.
It's a sort of Fairman. Stephen, someone else compared it. What the fuck does that even mean? Compared it to
a meerkat.
A meerkat to something else. I can't recall what the hell it was, but they compared the music to something else, and they were bang on. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I don't see Kubrick putting holding out for a hero in his movies. No.
John, do you know that? See when that came on, I actually saw a YouTube clip of Luke Skywalker's appearance in The Mandalorian, and they played that over the footage, and I went, oh, cringe, off.
No, I don't think Kubrick would do that. He was too artistic, wasn't he? He was one of the great directors, wasn't he, really? He used to guy, didn't he? What was the guy in Clockwork Orange? What was that actor? He was in the Generation Star Wars.
Oh dear,
I can't remember his name.
I can see his face.
His eye scratched in Orange. Clockwork Orange. I can't even speak
That's
English.
Terrible, John. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. I'm going to look it up.
Stephen, I'll go off and sort of gibber on while you do that. I loved the Pompeii scene. I couldn't believe it when they went back to Pompeii. But before that, in this episode,
Malcolm McDowell.
How the fuck do you forget Malcolm McDowell's name? It's terrible, man. Huge fan of Kubrick, and that's one of his great movies, and I can't remember McDowell's name. Fucking shocking. Stephen, the salt, the pepper, the milk, shocking, absolutely shocking. Which one I use is done the toilet and not forgot to flush it. Fucking terrible. East Coast Scottish people, what are you going to do with them, man? An occasional disgrace, a permanent embarrassment, and they like to speak about us West Coasters. Fuck off. Stephen, Edinburgh's a joke. It's all a mirage. They think it's a nice little historic city, but you step out 2 miles away from the city centre, it's a fucking drug den. It's a drug den, man. But Edinburgh aside, Stephen, get back to the episode. Salt, pepper, milk. What did you make about? It's like the offside rule trying to be explained, but in this case, it's Tom Hiddleston's Loki trying to explain his theory over what the variant is doing. He's utilising tragedies, apocalypses to alter the timeline but not have any impact that the variants can track him. I love that scene, Steve, where he's telling them a story.
John,
Ragnarok, they're using this timeline.
John,
people are going to die anyway.
That was for us. That was for the audience to understand. High elevators not worthy. Cool name. John, I loved that scene. I loved the sequence as well, and it was a great explanation on how
Pompeii.
He's worked out how this variant is working and how they're thinking.
And Stephen going to the library, trying to get all of history's what has happened,
classified,
and he can only get his own, and he discovers it through his own story. He looks at Ragnarok. Steve, more emotion
had
from
to ring the bell to get attention.
Yeah, she was fucking up her own arse, wasn't she? He sees Ragnarok and he sort of feels, and he starts tearing up again. And he realises that his homeworld is gone. The homeworld he kind of loves to hate, and then he discovers that's why what this variant's doing. Himself, in a sense, utilising apocalypses to stay under the cover of being found by the time variants authority. I can't even fucking speak tonight. Pompeii.
Elevator not worthy says the Pompeii scene was hilarious. The way Loki just went crazy. We got to see more of Tom's Latin.
Yes, he can speak. He can speak Italian as well. This guy is unreal. He can speak French. I think he can speak Italian. That's that Eton education coming out again. Stephen, I love the scene. He's like, let's just stick in. We'll do small little changes. He just runs out. He kicks the fucking cart thing down. On you go, goats. Run away. Be free. He starts speaking in Italian and saying to them all, you're all going to die. This mountain's about to erupt. He's laughing. He's sort of throwing things at people. Here, have a last meal. Fucking amazing scene, man. And the icing on the cake was him standing like that. And it's erupting behind him, and he's just smiling as he says. He's kind of doing a little Latin thing, And yeah, it's just about to hit him, the actual ash plume, and boom, they're coming into the elevator again.
Yeah.
I just love that scene, man, and it just, again, it allows Tom Hiddleston to be this god of mischief, and it's just what he does so well. There's so many emotive moments. He's been the butt of the joke in this. He's been really intelligent in cracking things. He's been the sort of mischievous little child running around assaulting people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stephen, that was the best scene in the whole actual episode for me in terms of visually and stuff like that, and just cracking the enigma of what this variant is doing. And then we go in, we actually go into, and also the Kabooey chewing gum moment as well, the aha moment with that, where it's the little French guy, he's got the Kabooey chewing gum, and they track the apocalypse 2050.
I knew that was going to play into it at some point, because they went on about that.
Oh, it was Latin. It wasn't Italian. It was Latin. Latin. Even better.
Yeah.
There
last
you go.
Week about that bubblegum, and I thought, seem to be going out of their way to show us this for some reason. This must play into
connected well,
the story at some point. And it was right, John. It was good the way they narrowed down the sort of search by piecing those things together. It was a great bit of detective work from them.
And Stephen, the whole apocalypse thing is 1985. It's Oshkosh, I believe. Oshkosh, if that's how I'm saying it right, Wisconsin. There was a little dig apparently at Ronald Reagan in this, because there was no disaster happened in that town in 1985. The only thing that happened was Ronald Reagan went and outlined plans, and it was an absolute disaster apparently, and that's Disney having a dig at the Republican Ronald Reagan president. Little Easter eggs in there.
Yeah,
2050, Stephen, it went over my head as well. I'm not American, and I don't know much about Ronald Reagan. He was before my time. Only that he was a Tadger who worked with Margaret Thatcher, who was the female Tadger of politics.
But he had a great head of hair.
He had an amazing head of hair, but he lost his mind in the job. So what do you want? Do you want shite hair but to be compos mentis, or do you want to have a great head of hair and fucking have Alzheimer's or something? I know what I want. But Stephen, the mall scene, the mall sequence, we've got more comments here before we go into the mall sequence and the end of this episode. Don Dieres.
Ave Maria. Grazie plena. Yeah.
Grazie plena.
Yeah.
I prefer German. I'm learning German at the moment. Speak German and I'll see if I understand it. Okay, a theory. The TVA says that Loki's taking the Tesseract was not part of the sacred timeline. So does that mean that Steve and Tony going back to the 70s to get the Tesseract was against the rules? Apparently not.
No, it doesn't.
Apparently that was...
Because they pick and choose what's right and what's wrong. They decide what's right and what's wrong.
Apparently that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because they were saving half the universe from extinction. I don't know.
We touched on that last week, John.
He doesn't speak Spanish either. Neither do I. All I know is buenos noches, buenas tardes and stuff like that. Just the basics. I don't speak Spanish either. No, I don't
speak English.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't think that has any ramifications. As you said, Stephen, they kind of outlined that last week when he went to the Time Variance Authority. They says that was okay, that breach.
Yeah.
Because Loki tried to stick them in right away. But Stephen, the finale within this episode, the mall sequence, what did you make about it? He dries himself off. Margaret Thatcher looked like fought the line. Yes, she was a fucking boot, as we like to say here. She didn't do much good for Scotland. She didn't do much good, period. She started a war to stay in power, which just about sums her up. Stephen, what do you make about the end sequence, the mall? Got off my political soapbox here.
Yeah.
The Lady Loki, I'm just going to refer to her as Lady Loki, not the rogue variant. She is using a charm on various different characters. At first it's the what's she called? 18?
Well, first it's the
18
little guy in the shop buying the flowers. The
plant. The little guy in the shop, and then it's the something 18 character, the Time Variance Authority character that hates Loki. Then it's the Steve,
it's Randy.
Randy. Then it's a big sort of muscly guy beating him about.
Yeah.
What did you make about that scene, Steve, and the action, him using things, getting choked the fuck out, and then the reveal of Lady Loki? He's trying to manipulate this character, do deals, be my lieutenant, help me take down the timekeepers, and then ultimately it's revealed that he is not the superior Loki variant.
But one thing Lady I noticed, Loki. John, Lady Loki will call it, until that person's got a name, it's Loki. But
it's Loki.
I think, John, I noticed that that portal that she went through, she left it open for him.
Yeah.
It should have closed right
No, it's
away,
deliberate, Steve.
But it's deliberate. She wants him to go with her. which is strange because they're supposed to be the same person.
It's not all about
John,
you.
I'll tell you something I'm very glad they did do was the reveal this early on. I did not want to see this drag on to episode 3 and that figure was still hooded with the cloak over its face.
Stephen, I told you that wasn't Tom Hiddleston Loki last week. I fucking knew it wasn't.
Something the build was definitely not. I know he's
keeping the cape up as well.
He's quite a lean guy, but there's something about the posture and everything wasn't like Tom Hiddleston.
No.
But you nailed it, John. You're absolutely right.
I knew it wasn't him, because why would you leave the hood up? It's revealed it's a Loki variant, unless it's a different variant.
Yeah, it's
a female in this case. Why would you leave the hood up? It's revealed that it isn't Tom Hiddleston ultimately. Steve, I'm going to enjoy this sort of dynamic between these two different Loki characters. We've not seen this female variant before. I'm very intrigued to see where this is going to go over the next 4 episodes. This is clearly a very intelligent and manipulative variant. It's doing things that even Loki is not aware of, man. It's manipulating people. It's utilising all of these time, I don't know what they're called, these time manipulating things, these little devices. Obviously it's got a mall full of them. I'm going to be really intrigued to watch this whole season play out and how it's going to go. Who's going to reign supreme? Is this Lady Loki going to go into the main timeline as well? It's going to be very fucking intriguing to see how it all plays out. Sandro says, Loki will sing I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. Is he going to sing that? I don't know. He can sing, Tom, to be fair. Very talented man. I don't know if that'll work. Guys, I sing singing in the rain. When you live stream,
finish the live stream, please.
When you finish the live stream,
to sing.
Oh, I'm not a great singer. I don't know if that would work. I'm not a great singer.
John, one thing's for sure: if we did try and attempt to singing in the rain, we would not get a copyright strike because it would sound
completely
like
fucking different. Yes, it certainly would.
Singing in the rain.
Stephen, this is a code 000. Somebody has just bombed the sacred timeline. What did you make about that moment when there's multiple fractious timelines going off? Where do you think that's going to go? How the fuck can they track down these two Lokis whilst trying to close off all of these different timelines and return to a non-chaotic
That's the question, John.
How's it going to play out, man? What do you think? What's your predictions for next week? Do you think it will bump up in intensity?
Well, I think action? Definitely. And I think as well that's what these next 4 episodes are going to be about now. I think this is the start of the story now. John, you said yourself at the start, before we actually came on, you were a bit concerned about the pace and
I was.
The lack of drama and action in episode 2. I was very concerned as well. I felt this is very similar to episode 1 in pacing.
I expected it to ramp up this week.
Yeah, but I think it will next week. Definitely.
I think it will. Stephen, I was concerned. As I did say, I think there'll be some people out there who won't like this TV show. The more impatient, action-needing people, they won't like the dialogue. I personally love dialogue-heavy things, so it's right up my street. But I actually read a review, Stephen, so it shouldn't have came as a surprise to me. There was some journalist got access to the first 2 episodes, and she actually did say that the second episode was a little bit slow as well, and it did bump up at the end, and we see that in the mall scene. So I think we are seeing signs that it is going to explode. Steve, it was like WandaVision, man. WandaVision started off quite slow, just these episodes of these TV shows, then it fucking exploded.
John, I love WandaVision. It's still my favourite series from Disney Plus so far out of the 3, but there was bits in it I kept thinking they were harking back to the films references and stuff like that, the tragedy of Vision, etc. This is what I like about Loki. They're not dwelling too much. Yeah, we got the whole death scene last week of Loki with Thanos, which was great. It was great drama. And this week we got the realisation of
Asgard.
He's home, not longer there, but not dwelling on it too much. He actually did. He kind of thinged it off a bit, but he's saying, all very tragic, moving on, kind of thing. And I thought,
it's a shame.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny.
Like
but that's what I like about the series. They're not really dwelling too much on the films.
And Steve,
moving forward.
And Steve, you talk about expanding out Loki as a character. You see that he does. He kind of hides his emotion.
Yeah.
Because he was getting tearful when he read that Asgard had perished, and then you see him covering it up and try to be all macho. So you're seeing different sides of this character, and that's fundamentally the best thing that I'm enjoying about this. The combination of him and Owen Wilson, Mobius and Loki speaking, that's the main thing I'm enjoying. But just seeing this character from a different angle, a different light, it's been really, really enjoyable. But Steve, that's going to round up the episode review because it's done. What's the next Marvel series when Loki ends? Maybe What If? It might be the animated What If. And then I think it will be
Chadwick Boseman's
What If, yeah. What is after that? Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. Has She-Hulk even started? I don't know, man. I don't know. But we are getting a lot of movies coming out as well shortly. Black Widow's coming out next month, I think. And then it's Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home. So it's going to be a momentous end to the year. 6 months.
And that's just the Marvel stuff.
Just the Marvel stuff, man. We've got other things. Is Avatar coming out? Avatar 2 coming out next year, this year? Next year, isn't it?
I thought it was the end of this year. Maybe it's not. Maybe. I don't think they're going to go up against Spider-Man 3. Surely not.
And I think Spielberg's got West End Story, or West Side Story.
Yeah, he's got that
West Side Story coming out this year as well. So
it's the same time as Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a momentous end, man. You've got June coming out, No Time to Die. I'm going to see A Quiet Place too.
James Bond,
yeah, No Time to Die, Stephen. It's going to be fantastic.
And also, we've also got some Star Wars television series coming up as well.
Yes, Obi-Wan,
so
Diego Luna.
Yeah.
Cassian Andor, I should say.
Early 2022. Yeah.
Yes, but we get another comment here. I'm hiding it. I think it's Miss Marvel.
It makes sense. Yeah, if the
I'm actually looking forward to Miss Marvel, Stephen, because it's going to tie into the Marvels. And I'm doing everything in my power to try and get jacked up for the Marvels. Because, to be honest with you, I've been impressed with Brie Larson, I have to tell you, man. I've been really impressed with her fitness regime. One-handed push-ups, pull-ups. She is getting jacked. So I've got to admire as someone that does weight training.
But she'll need that ass double.
Yeah. I hope she's been working the glutes.
Yeah.
She has worked her arse off, and I think that will pay dividends for the Marvels. So I'm intrigued to see what's her face? Monica Rambeau.
Rambo.
Yeah. Gumbo. I'm thinking about Gumbos here. New Orleans Gumbos. I fucking love them. Monica Rambeau, Miss Marvel, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all ties in. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Looking forward to Haley Steinfeld as well in the Hawkeye show. Potentially Clint Barton passing the baton over to her. But that's going to round it up, man. We've got nothing else to say really. That's the end of the episode, the end of the review. We've done everything, other than a couple more dialogue quotes that I could have fired out, because the dialogue was again absolutely on point this week. Whoever wrote this script deserves a fucking knighthood. They deserve to be knighted. They deserve to be a sir. It may have been a woman, so
I think it was a woman, John.
A dame.
Yeah.
They need a damehood. But that's going to round it up, man. What was your thoughts of episode 2, Loki, the variant? If you've got anything to share about that down below, you can put it down in the comment section if you feel compelled to share your thoughts. You can also speak about our review, anything that's on your mind in general about the MCU, anything. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, hit the follow button over on Twitch if you want to see more content of this in the future, and you will get it, guys. But look, until then, me and Stephen are done. Bye bye. Yay! I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. Do you think that Doomcock will like Miss Marvel? Doomcock doesn't like anything. He doesn't like himself. The guy is a tadger. He doesn't like himself. Come at me, Doomcock, bitch. Come at me, man. I don't wear a fucking mask, bitch. Bye, guys.